So apparently this one city was hit by 7 tornadoes. Was it the same day? I don't know. I have no idea about any of this video. Don't know what's gonna happen. So we're gonna see. Hopefully it's all in one day, right? Right?
This episode is sponsored by SimpliSafe. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. As a late spring nighttime thunderstorm rolls in, 23-year-old Nebraskan Rod Gardner snaps a photo following a flash of lightning. Illuminated 2.5 miles to his north are 3 simultaneous tornadoes on the ground, churning right into his hometown of Grand Island.
I'm sorry. You said 3 on the ground? Like at the same time? Excuse me?
While he doesn't quite realize it yet, he just captured meteorological history. This was the beginning of what would become known as the Night of the Twisters.
Pants.
June 3rd, 1980. It's particularly humid in central Nebraska this afternoon, which was a persisting theme for the past several days. Out to the west and well overhead, a strong and persistent upper-level low has been churning for over a week,
319,
bringing
okay.
multiple days of severe weather to the United States. In the northeast, a shortwave ejected by the larger system brought strong to violent tornadoes to western Pennsylvania through the Virginias early that afternoon. But back over the Central Plains, little weather was expected. The U.S. Weather Service office at the Grand Island Airport called for a 20% chance of thunder showers given the humid conditions, but ingredients were rapidly changing. Aloft, the jet stream seemed too weak over Colorado into Nebraska to support robust storms, but a subtle disturbance was propagating north that would promote forming a new surface low over western Nebraska in the late afternoon. That caused a rapid surge of unstable air northward into the state, with instability reaching over 4,000 joules per kilogram. Additionally, the low-level jet ramped up, creating an extremely favorable environment for tornadoes if a storm could breach the temperature inversion, keeping a lid on activity. At 6 p.m., a single cell explodes upward amongst the field of cumulus clouds. For the next few hours, it would mature into a proper supercell thunderstorm. A report of a funnel cloud came into the local weather service office shortly after 8 p.m., some 15 miles to the northwest. Meteorologist in charge Don Davis watched a hook echo become apparent on the WSR-57 radar scope, prompting the issuance of the first tornado warning of the night. In Grand Island at Meaves Bowling Alley, 30-year-old Ronnie Lease was warming up for his weekly league. However, news of the bad weather approaching forced the league to cancel for the evening. Instead of turning in for the night, Ronnie and several other league bowlers decided to head to the nearby Pagoda Lounge instead. At the shopping mall in town, 19-year-old Denise Baring is told by her boss to leave early to get home before the worst of the storm hits.
That's a good boss.
She heads north out of town for her uncle's farmstead, where a family birthday party is being held that evening. At 8:45 p.m., the first tornado of the night touched down in open fields. With the parent storm barely moving, the rotating updraft, or mesocyclone of the supercell, dictated the tornado's motion. Like a rotating planet orbiting about a star, the tornado orbited around the mesocyclone. The tornado carouseled and wobbled as other storm downdrafts further influenced its erratic behavior. Denise Baring is now driving on the farm roads northwest of the city. Little did she know, her family had tried to call her at work to tell her not to come.
And just looking at the path, so it looped-de-looped, and then looped-de-looped, and then went down and looped-de-looped, and went backwards? That is the craziest path I've ever seen. I mean, usually we see like these, like just kind of going up and whatever, not just turning around and loopy-looping. Hello? I don't know. I'm scared about this lady.
The city. Little did she know, her family had tried to call her at work to tell her not to come as conditions deteriorated. She drives further into the rain, attempting to get to her destination. While this was ongoing, Hall County Deputy Kelly Buck watched 2 funnels protrude from the cloud base on the northern edge of Grand Island. He'd report the sighting right as tornado number 2 spun up at 9 p.m. local time. This tornado was anticyclonic, which is a very rare occurrence. Supercells primarily rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, given the Earth's rotational influence on the atmosphere, called the Coriolis effect. However, supercells still form 2 areas of rotation, The counterclockwise, or cyclonic rotation easily becomes dominant as dictated by the Coriolis effect. However, particularly with slower moving, more robust supercells, the secondary, clockwise rotation can become just strong enough to produce tornadoes.
Oh, so that's 1 and that's 2. So one's going the correct way and one's going the... Wait, hold on. Yeah, clockwise. Okay. I was like, wait, hold on. I'm looking at the arrows incorrectly. Okay, yeah. So the clockwise one, which is the weird one, and then the counterclockwise. That's insane.
Themselves. As a supercell's rear flank downdraft surges around the backside of the storm, most of that flow is wrapped into the main cyclonic mesocyclone, but some of that flow peels off into the anticyclonic rotation, providing just enough of a kick to promote anticyclonic tornadogenesis. Anticyclonic tornadoes can hit you unexpectedly while storm chasing, as they are not under the main base of the storm. What also can be unexpected are home security breaches.
What?
Since storm chasing takes me on the road often, I leave my home unoccupied for prolonged periods of time. That's why I use SimpliSafe, the award-winning home security system that is completely customizable for your specific needs.
I mean, then again, like with natural disasters, people are like, oh, it's the perfect opportunity to break into this home and steal their stuff. No, don't do that. Hello?
Escape that leads into an alley down below. It's an unwanted point of entry into my home. Security systems that only reach individuals, allowing them to pair that with the glass break sensor, potential forgotten candles in the building.
Oh yeah, that's
Aside
bad.
my pre-existing
Don't
alarm,
leave a candle
is a rapid
unattended.
emergency. I can keep tabs on monitoring % off your. Visit Simply.
Okay.
What occurred next in Grand Island was extraordinarily rare. The second funnel cloud witnessed by Deputy Buck plants at 9:05 p.m. on US 281. For the next 7 minutes, 3 tornadoes are simultaneously on the ground, 2 of which are anticyclonic. This is when Rod Gardner snaps the only...
I'm just saying, like, this map, I mean, that's... Those are really close to each other. I mean, obviously, there's their twins, but 2 of this other one over here, too?
2 of which are anticyclonic. This is when Rod Gardner snaps the only known image of the night's storm, clearly showing the dying tornado number 2 and strengthening tornado number 3. Tornado number 1 is shrouded by a wall of rain, the same wall of rain Denise Baring is driving through. Behind the curtains of rain, the tornado impacts her uncle's farmstead, destroying much of the farm's infrastructure. It looped a few more times along White Cloud Road, impacting Denise's vehicle. She would not survive, just 3/4 of a mile from her destination.
That's so sad.
Denise was an avid artist, loved the outdoors, and was friendly with everyone she met. Tornado number 3 dove south and entered the...
And what really sucks is the boss is like, hey, there's bad weather. Go home early. Leave. Go home now. Because I know they can't really predict like way ahead of time because of the year it is. And so it's probably, you know, obviously, well, it was already occurring. So that's just unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. Wonder why she decided to go there instead.
The city of Grand Island, first grazing the veterans' home and severely damaging several blocks of homes between Capitol Avenue and Cottage Street. A strong downdraft shunted it southeast.
When their boss didn't blame themselves, they tried to do the right thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, yeah, I mean, the boss really had good intentions. Oh, man. Oh, that's sad. I would be so upset with myself. So upset with myself.
East, directly towards the VA hospital. Hundreds of windows blew out on the large masonry structure, but it stood firm for those inside.
Oh, good.
Adjacent houses were not as fortunate, with a few being completely destroyed. The tornado churned furthermore into uptown Grand Island, but fortunately was losing strength, concluding north of downtown at 9:30 p.m. In total, 40 people were injured by tornado number 3. At this time, Tornado 1 was still ongoing, crossing Nebraska State Highway 2 into the Capitol Heights neighborhood. Several homes were damaged as Tornado 1 roped out after 49 minutes on the ground. While only 6.5 miles from its starting point, its winding path added to a total of over 14 miles.
This whole path just baffles me, really. I mean, these have like those hooks, and looks typically kind of normal, but this one just how it goes up and then goes down this way and up this way and up that way. Can you imagine being where these loops meet here? What if you're here or here or here or here, and it goes away and then it comes right back? Like, what? Ugh.
Grand Island had several minutes of reprieve as the Supercell cycles its old updraft for a new one. By 9:46, tornado number 4 reached the ground at the intersection of US 34 and Shady Bend Road. This was the third anticyclonic tornado of the night, but fortunately did little damage, only knocking over a few power poles and flattening crops within its 4-minute lifespan.
Oh, that's
The
good.
storm's base meandered past downtown
Still.
and became seemingly stationary as it spooled up tornado number 5 at 10:16 p.m. It planted in the Eagle Lake subdivision, causing damage to several homes. The tornado, orbiting about the mesocyclone, now tracked due westerly, an extremely rare path for a tornado to take.
Yeah, going
It
west.
ramped up in intensity riding along East Bismarck Road, shredding the
Yeah, I went west. Yolando, thank you. Welcome in. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Yeah, I can't wait to use it. I'm so excited. I will be using it soon, hopefully. Don't know how soon, but soon. Well, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today.
take. It ramped up in intensity riding along East Bismarck.
What is happening? Like, what is happening this whole day? We have the one that's doing little spirals constantly, and then we have the wow, they just told us, and I forgot what it's called. The tornado spinning the incorrect direction. And there's two of those, right? And then now we have this one that's going west instead of like the east, typical
Bismarck
side.
Road, shredding the Meaves bowling alley as the orbit pulled the tornado southwest into the Pleasant View neighborhood. Some homes are completely flattened as the orbit continues to drag it southerly over South Locust Street. Among the first businesses hit on this
Anticyclonic, thank
commercial
you.
stretch is the Pagoda Lounge, where Ronnie Lease is located. It is completely destroyed with patrons inside. Homes along Eddy Street and Lincoln Ave are severely damaged as the tornado then overtakes Tipton Trailer Court. Here, 17-year-old Robin Larson and her fiance attempt to shelter as their mobile home was obliterated, throwing the pair out into the storm. It was right around this
Did they survive? Okay, thank you for the lurky. Yeah. Oh, I know they didn't really have much notice, but shoot, if you live in a trailer park, please make sure you know where like a concrete building is, like a better building is. You know what I'm trying to say. Like a storm shelter or like a store, something that would be a little better than your trailer, because the trailer can be smushed and it can be rolled around, and there's a lot of things that can happen with it. So please.
time when tornado number 6 formed in the fields 2.5 miles to the east at 10:25 p.m.
You're going west
Similar to the Pilger event in 2014
But my head was in the way for that.
at 10:25 p.m. Similar to the Pilger event in 2014, two
That's a
dominant
great photo.
cyclonic updrafts were able to coexist simultaneously. It too began to orbit, taking a southwesterly course. Meanwhile, the violent tornado to the west continued along South Locust Road, right along the tail of 25-year-old Danny Davenport's vehicle. He drove underneath the awning of the Regal 8 motel and hunkered down, shielding
No.
his fiancée. The Star Elementary School was the next Grand Island landmark to take a critical blow.
No.
Several classrooms in the gymnasium completely imploded.
No kids, right?
The tornado was now coming around the horn
think
to the
there's any kids.
southeast, aiming for the motel where Davenport was sheltered. In a nearby house, 66-year-old Charles Peterson hears the storm coming.
It's just boom, boom. Like, you look to the left and there's a tornado. You look to the right, there's a tornado. Like, this is the end of the world. What is happening? What is happening? The world is ending with this. Not just rule. Oh.
He sought shelter along a bedroom wall, while his wife Hattie crawled into the bathroom just 4 feet away. The Regal 8 motel takes a direct hit, and the awning comes down on Davenport's car. He's knocked unconscious, struck by a support beam. The household is also hit, completely blowing down much of the structure. Tornado number 6 now comes into close proximity with tornado number 5, shunting it back to the west in its dying breath. Tornado number 6 too turns southward.
You're basically about to make impact with each other. What happens if this tornado was here and this tornado was here? Wait, did it? Hold on.
Shunting it back to the west in its dying breath.
Okay, yeah, so it basically died. But like, hello, this poor area, 1 and then 2 and 3, and that's just this section right here. They can merge. What if what if they're spinning in different directions and they merge? I don't want to know.
Tornado number 6-2 turns
Nothing good. Yeah,
southward,
probably nothing good.
then east, as it churns over the very path tornado number 4 carved less than an hour earlier. The city of Grand Island had endured its last tornado of the evening, but the Supercell was not done with the show. The 7th and final tornado touched down at 10:45, a mile southeast of the Platte River. In 45 minutes, it only traveled some 4 miles from its starting point, but its coiled path added up to well over 13 miles.
This was looping too. So we have 1, 2, and 1. So these two places got hit twice.
Initial emergency response proved chaotic at first. The storm's slow progress dumped several inches of rain on the city, causing localized flash flooding. There was confusion as communication breakdowns made it unclear if more tornadoes were coming, and ambulances were quickly overwhelmed with injuries. Among those transported to hospitals were Danny Davenport and the fiancé of Robin Larson. By 5 a.m., emergency crews were now organized in sweeping structures for survivors. Hattie Peterson was found alive in the collapsed household. Her husband Charles was not as fortunate. The Grand Island native worked for the Union Pacific Railroad. Up the road on South Locust, the body of Robin Larson was found in a collapsed Dairy Queen over a block from where her mobile home once stood. Her funeral was held on what was supposed to be her wedding day. In the
Okay, that's just depressing. That's just depressing. Now, first of all, whenever I say go find a better location than your trailer, that's not a guarantee. I will say it is not a guarantee. It's a better chance, more than likely. Better chance of surviving. Just unfortunately, it's not 100% foolproof. You had your funeral on the day that was supposed to be your wedding? Can you imagine the fiance? Like, we were supposed to get married today, and now I'm burying her. Oh my gosh. Wow.
collapsed Pagoda Lounge, crews find Ronnie Lease deceased. The veteran did 2.5 years in Vietnam and had just finished his first year as a teacher at a local junior high.
Aww.
Tragically, Danny Davenport succumbed to his injuries, passing 3 days after the tornado. He saved the life of his fiancée, who he was supposed to marry that September. Cleanup got underway quickly in the following days, which included a visit from President Jimmy Carter. Among those on scene in Grand Island was Roger Wakimoto, a PhD candidate under Dr. Tetsuya Fujita. Fujita was the nation's foremost expert on tornadoes at the time, studying them via the damage they produced. Over the next several months, Fujita and Wakimoto combed through the evidence and put together a clear picture of the night storm, which was unlike anything they'd seen before. They plotted their erratic paths, discovering that 3 of the 7 tornadoes were anticyclonic. In the words of Fujita, these were the most complicated tornadoes he had ever surveyed. Using his rating system, the Fujita scale, he determined tornadoes 2, 4, and 7 were F1s, 6 was an F2, 1 and 3 were F3s, and tornado number 5 was an F4, the second highest possible rating. Final storm tallies included 531 destroyed homes, with another 1,400 sustaining some form of damage. 49 businesses were decimated, and damages in the city accrued to $300 million, roughly $1.14 billion today. 200 individuals were treated for injuries, and 5 lost their lives. Debris from the town was gathered in a small landfill on the west side of town. It quickly reached capacity, and city officials decided to turn the landfill into a park, where the now covered debris pile was aptly named Tornado Hill,
Huh.
serving as the memorial for the lives lost in Grand Island on June 3rd, 1980.
Dang, that's so sad. Oh gosh. So what was the other one that? So
This episode is sponsored.
Sorry, start the video over again. So like Vegeta was on this one too. So these are other tornadoes that were not included in the other video that we watched. So these are separate tornadoes. I don't know. So the it was a Palm Sunday, right? And then these separate. So he was just dang. Vegeta was just like I don't even know what to say. Like that's just I don't know. I'm just speechless. With especially all the like the loop-de-loops are what's killing me too. Like say loop-de-loop. That's try not to say a silly word, but the little looping, I guess you could say it. These tornadoes are on 1980. Okay, so they're 20 years. Okay. Let's say. So I guess he was looking at all of them, maybe? I don't know. That's just oh, that's so sad. That's really sad. Oh. All but one of the deaths were young folk. I know. It's so sad. Basically, drunk tornadoes. I don't know. Okay, so it's a 15-year difference. Okay. Gotcha. I can't remember all the years. You'll have to forgive me. I sucked at history because it's just remembering dates and stuff, and I'm bad at that. I'm awful at that, so you'll have to forgive me. You'll have to forgive me on that. Forgiveness granted. Thank you. Thank you. And it's almost time for the countdown for 2026. I want to watch the ball drop. Oh. What's everyone's New Year resolution? Mine is to buy less anime figures. Mine is to express more emotion like this. What emotion is that? It's joy. Can't you tell how happy I am? Yo, man, what do you plan to do this year? Yo, man, I want to get so swole. Yo, sick. How are you going to do that? It's going to be super easy this year, dude. With the help of Gamer Subs, they have a new product coming out called Gamerade on January 9th at 2 p.m. Central. Comes in blue and lemon lime flavors with 0 sugar and 0 caffeine. They say that 1 scoop in 16 to 20 ounces of water daily delivers 2,000 milligrams of micronized creatine, along with potassium, calcium, magnesium, and vitamins C, B12, B6, and folate. It's gonna help me stay alert, hydrated, and perform at my best. Yo, that's amazing! How could it get any better? If you use code SPIT at checkout, you'll save 10% on your purchase. Heck yeah! I want to get me some too on January 9th at 2 p.m. Central. And here's the countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! I am so ecstatic right now. Hey, where'd the cookies go? I am deeply distraught about the cookies. Happy New Year! Make sure you use code SPIT at checkout to save that 10%. Cookie. The link is in the description below. And make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Back to the video!